Oh, good times, good vibes. It's me, the one and only Nero, the natural, sitting here with Nick, the narcissist Celio, and together we are the natural narcissist. Because you have to be in radio. And we are on September 30th edition of the Monkey Mind Show. And it's a special edition today because we are getting our first live stream on WMLD's The Voice of the Hudson Valley. Check it out on WMLD On Air. It's available on all the app stores. So, Nick, what do you got?
Well, how many times have I told you not to mention my own name in public because I got people looking for me? That's what I got.
Oh, I thought that was your witness protection name, Nick. I'm sorry, I apologize. I thought it was your old name. But that is our tag team name, is the Natural Narcissist. But we're going to kind of get into it. September 30th. So we've got a couple celebrity birthdays. T-Pain turns 33 today. Woo, woo. And then Kieran Culkin, the better-looking brother of Macaulay Culkin, turns 37 today. He didn't actually have to do much in those movies. Macaulay was actually taking the reins. Also, a little-known fact, 1846, Dr. William Morton of Charleston, Massachusetts, discovered ether today. Dr. Charles dipped into it a little too much before his own surgery. Unfortunately for the first patient, he passed out. So that's a cool little tidbit.
What does ether do to you?
Ether is what they put for like anesthetic back in the day when they wanted to amputate your leg or stuff. They basically knock you out, man. You ever heard the expression "come up out of the ether"? That's what it is.
But people take it just to pass out?
No, it's just to pass out.
Just sleeping?
It was an experimental thing, so he kind of tried a little ether on himself and a little on the patient the first time, and he wanted to sleep.
Oh, so that's what they actually use to knock you out?
Yeah, that's exactly one of the first things that they had used as an anesthetic, or not as an anesthetic, that's not the right one, anesthesia or something.
Yeah.
To put you out and under. So that's one of those cool little things that nobody really ever talks about.
Right.
And
Or cares about?
But here's where we're going to segue into it a little bit, because one of the things we like to talk about in the Monkey Mind is the mind. And when you're under the ether, no one can...
And drugs.
Right, and drugs. No one can... Well, no one can really tell you where your mind goes, and that is one of the interesting things about it. Like it's like you're completely separated from yourself.
You're dead, basically.
Yeah, kind of, in its own weird way. Like you're somewhere else. No one ever knows where you really come out. It's one of those things, you don't know how long you were under.
Right.
You know what I mean? It could have been 5 minutes, but you felt like 5 hours, or it was 5 hours. Vice versa. So. Yeah, I think that's one of the cool things. So, like, where did you go?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
what if when you die, like, say you died and that happened, you have no idea what's going on, you're just completely wiped out, and then one day you wake up as, like, a seagull out of nowhere. You're like, ah!
Yeah, no, and then you're just eating, like, worms. There's other theories with that, too, with, like, just civilizations getting to a point where they collapse on themselves into a black hole, and that's, like, the center of a black hole is a civilization. So that's really cool. Like the whole mind of it. Like, they got to such a point where it was so advanced it just collapsed on itself, and that's the like a star, like a supernova thing, kind of like boom. The whole thing just exploded into itself because it got so far ahead. So are we on that path too? It's cool. Like, are we able to hit these different dimensions when we go into the ether?
There's only one way to find out. Let's take a break and hit the ether.
All right, yeah. So,
let me ask you something. The only time I've ever heard anybody talk about ether is in the movies Bad Boys. The movie Bad Boys. You remember that scene when they're in the back of the truck? He's like, what is that? I smell something. He's like, ether. You managed to rob the only truck filled with ether. Yeah. And then it blows up, obviously.
Ether is extremely flammable.
Right.
I think Fear and Loathing, though. Doesn't the guy have it in the briefcase?
Probably. He's got everything.
He has everything in that briefcase. Absolutely, dude.
But do people do that as a... what is the...
recreational
drug?
Right. I don't know, man. I would assume that there is a market for everything. So
what do you do? Inhale it?
I would imagine almost a chloroform scenario. Dip it on a rag and just, whiff it away. I don't know. Gasoline. I've never done these things.
You invite somebody over, like, can you ether me tonight? I don't want to ether myself.
Right. I just want to make sure that somebody's in the house just in case anything goes wrong. Right. Just take a quick break. Yeah. You maybe watch the kids. Is they responsible?
You're an etherhead. You've always been an etherhead.
No, I don't think so.
You had something that you wanted to like tie in, right? About drugs and cell phones comparatively.
Well, I think what you're getting at is, according to a recent study in Women's Health, the morons of America cannot get off their phones long enough to stay
AKA
at them.
us.
Yeah, me. It's to stay out of the way of the wall. I have actually walked into a cabinet recently, playing too much on my phone. But 17,000 of us have checked into ERs across America with techno distraction as a actual cause of injury for being distracted, from not being able to just cross the street without having your phone in your hand. Have we become that far gone as a society that we can't stay off our phones while we're doing a very important task like walking across the street?
Right. Well, remember back in the day when the only form of entertainment that we had was those electronic poker games? Did you used to play those things? Like, it was the little handheld ones. It was like Joker Poker, Deuces Wild, or like you had to carry around a little 12-key piano or something like that to keep yourself busy, or a harmonica. Imagine, we didn't have any of this stuff back in the day to keep you occupied. You had to literally just look around or find somebody to have a conversation with or talk to yourself and become a psychopath.
Having an imagination. Most people don't have any kind of imagination, to have any kind of patience to create anything nowadays. Let alone this is not being techno distracted. I myself am guilty of this as I'm trying to research our next
Brian's
segment.
on the cell phone right now while he's pretending to talk to me.
Right. I am guilty of this right now, but I'm actually trying to do some research for our next segment.
That's good. Cell phones are insane. I mean, they've become our brains. We know we can figure out so much now, but we probably don't retain nearly as much information because you don't have to anymore, which in a way
makes us dumber.
Well, but this is we look at technology in a way that's making us dumber, but is it going to advance us? Is it going to allow us to like leave a certain part of our brain behind, more of our monkey mind behind, so to be able to develop more of the alien mind, like the smarter version where we don't have to use too much of it to focus on little deeds or remembering stuff that really, do we need to remember when the War of 1812 was? It's in the name, number one. That's an easy one.
Well, I feel like I hear what you're saying there, but I think where people get that misunderstood is that we need to remember the impact, the social impact of it doesn't maybe necessarily mean the dates, but what happened. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that is the things where I hear what you're saying. We don't have to. Maybe we can advance ourselves with the convenience of the alarm clock thing, not having to set the alarm clock or set your favorite radio station, or because it allows your mind to be freer. Mm-hmm. So because that's even kind of like part of meditation, but I'm kind of getting off topic. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. If we allow ourselves to just kind of get freed up, we will become more available to come up with greater ideas.
Right.
Yeah, but when we come to relying on these things, we forget to do daily tasks such as walking, apparently, because we go and walk into walls.
Right.
You know what I mean? So where's the line? I mean, obviously, it should be walking and being alert of your surroundings at all times. And we get caught up being so in the hustle and bustle that with the techno things, like you said, we forget to do our basic activities that we need to do.
Well, maybe multitasking is the thing here, or maybe there should
nobody
be a
can
test.
Multitask. Though.
Maybe there should be a test, like there's a driver's license. You should have to take a test, an examination by the state to show whether or not you are capable of simple multitasking jobs. And if you're not, you can't have a cell phone in your hand in public.
Cell phone license. That's what
100%.
You must be this old to have a cell phone. But apparently, yeah. I mean, people have to go over the basics because think about it. When you're riding around in your car, how many people you shouldn't text and drive.
Right.
You shouldn't be. And it's not just text and drive. Motherfuckers is watching videos. They had the movies and they're in the fucking highway, man.
Right. Yeah. I'll just bleep that out.
Yeah, okay.
I got skills like that.
But yeah, they're in the highway, so
that's cool. We could just curse and bleep it out. It'd be even more fun.
Okay.
But then we have to listen to the whole podcast again.
Yeah.
So let's just not curse.
I'm doing my best. This is a new thing for us.
Yeah, we like to curse a lot. But yeah, tons of it.
And I don't think you should be judged for that.
Apparently, if you curse a lot, you're more trustworthy. Did you ever hear that study?
No, that's pretty cool.
Like if you're just talking to people and you're just blah, 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 blah,
I think more people would feel like you're easier to trust because you're showing a little vulnerability by doing such what people consider a taboo act.
Right.
Oh my God, did he just say that? Well, when it's more of a free-flowing thing to me, that's like something you do with your buddies.
Right.
You do bullshit. You do curse, unfortunately. Yeah. So it's like
there's always like an over-the-top cursing, especially around certain people. Like if you're around the elderly, you don't want to drop F-bombs and stuff like that. Or you're around your friend's mom or something like that. But I mean, if you're just hanging out,
yeah, if you're just hanging out, I mean, even though, but if that's how you express yourself, you should be able to express yourself the way that you talk.
Right.
And unfortunately, people put such a overemphasis on the words that we choose.
Yeah.
And it's more about the body language that we use in the context. It's not about what you say; it's how you say it.
Right.
So if you're being energetic and you're like, "Whoa, f you, my
Yeah.
friend," it
I was
doesn't
at the
come.
store and this.
You're right, exactly. you can tell the context of it, so
Yeah.
it's unfortunate that people get so caught up on such an antiquated concept as oh, he cursed, so like whatever. It's such a free flowing thing.
I like to curse.
I love it actually, but that's wrapped up in witchcraft and superstition in its own. Each
Yeah.
one of these curse words have a spell or incantation. Always follow up with my facts. So
Spells or incantations on all these curse words.
yeah, I mean, I think I got that from South Park. They had the whole episode, Me Crab.
Do you know what the word FUCK actually stands for?
Oh no, I don't know.
It stands for fornication under the consent of the king. Basically, back in the day, they used to have to ask for permission to have sex with your wife, and the king would be like, "Yeah, sure. But let me get a piece of it first, maybe." But
Yeah.
that's what it comes from. So now everybody turns it into such a the worst curse word in the world.
That's pretty bad though. The king got to pop your wife before you get to pop your wife. Like, come on, what kind of society are we living in?
Yeah.
The greatest kind, where you get to be king.
We live in a pretty good society, don't you?
Well, the president is not being like, "Hey, I get to bang your wife," though,
Right,
buddy.
right.
Imagine Trump is like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to do it. It's for the good of the country that I bang your wife first before you can."
Right.
That's bad, Trump. But whatever.
Dude, imagine, we wake up in the morning, we have all this food accessible to us. Nobody has to go outside and hunt for the kill. You know what I mean? We just go to the supermarket. There's a billion things in there to eat and to just prepare for yourself. And people have the balls to complain about anything going on in
know.
this in society. It's beyond me.
Have you been to the supermarket in Yonkers lately, dude? That's the thrill of the hunt and the kill. You gotta throw bows. You're trying to get in the meat section. You're trying to get the good stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost savage down there.
Ah, get outta here.
Yeah, it's almost savage down there, dude. You gotta be prepared. I like to do it like Supermarket Sweep. Remember that show from back in the day?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Dude, you have to get in there, get the Marshmallow Man, and get the bonus points. I'm in and out of that self checkout, dude. Like I work at Stop and Shop. I get the coupons in the thing. I'm ready to roll. But we are off topic.
We
as
are
usual.
way off topic.
What's the topic?
I don't know. You tell me, buddy.
I don't know. The mind.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what's cool? The Joker's coming out this Friday, and the Joker got all kinds of controversy behind it right now. And we were kind of talking about it back and forth earlier.
Yeah.
And how we allow media to have such a big impact in our lives, like. Instead of taking a step back and just taking our own accountability in society, we always find these outlets, right? That's my take on it. Because everybody's in an uproar right now. Oh, you shouldn't see this movie, and there's violent themes. I don't even really know all the details behind it. I know the Joaquin Phoenix is taking a different approach. He's taking it from the side of a mental patient and the slow build, not the build or what could be build into like the mind of somebody that's losing it and mental health. So some people see it as like, oh, this is an inspirational thing, and others see it as very detrimental, like celebrating the mind of a psychopath. And it's a very real thing that's going on in society. But I kind of get what I'm getting at is I feel like we need to hold ourselves more accountable. You know, there's been millions of movies. Every 6 months or so, there's a new thing everybody's in an uproar about.
Right.
And I'm not saying these people don't have the right to be because of such of the tragedies that happened. But are we focusing on too much, again, blame instead of accountability?
I got a question. Who are the people that actually begin the uproar? Like, say we didn't like it.
Who are the they?
We're in my house uproaring right now. Roar! It's never gonna go anywhere. Nobody's gonna be like, it's not gonna catch on. Who are the people? Is it the media that's doing, or is it even behind the scenes more like, let's create a massive amount of negative impact, whatever, not a negative news on it, basically, so it builds up the movie, and now more people go because.
Right now, because there's now taboo on it, and they consider any bad press is good.
Exactly,
press.
that's what I was going with. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a side effect. Is that where there's a spark, there is a fire, and the people that are genuinely concerned do start these movements, and then they get with maybe the wrong people who then now take it to their agenda.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because there's always an agenda when it comes to these kinds of things. And like you said, now bad press, good press. People are now more interested in this movie than ever. Like,
Right.
The two
It
of
looks
us.
kind of boring in a way from the
Yeah,
trailers because
I
nothing
did. I'm
happens in it.
Huge Joker fan, and I'm super disappointed they're not going with any of the comic arcs. They're just kind of letting. Well, now Joaquin Phoenix is an amazing actor and the stuff that I've seen him in the past, but like they're just kind of letting him and the director wing it, and it's not. I mean, as a comic book fan, I'm not excited to see it. You know, like you said, it's just kind of like yeah.
Right.
But that all this stuff is now controversial. Like we're even talking about it, that we're not even like in the know like that.
So to get back to what you're saying, like people are causing a big uproar and a stink about it because I mean, I guess they're trying to show how somebody becomes a psychopath and they're trying to glorify it or something like that, right? But like, there's been so many other movies that I haven't seen this movie because it's not in the theaters yet, but like that I could say this movie should not be a movie because I'm not crazy, but I could see how certain crazy people would be like, oh, I'm gonna do this. You ever see Devil's Rejects? That movie is disturbing.
Yeah, no.
The Hills Have Eyes. Like, come on. Like, all these movies, you got to give some lunatic some sort of, oh, I could do this too. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like the uproar is the continued influence of our young people, and like you know how we just keep throwing it at them, and that's where the uproar really comes from. Is like we all have things that turn us into the people we become, right? So we all have influences, and then if at a very young age you're glamorizing murdering and things like that, like you said, if you continue to do it, I mean, again, I think it's more on the parents and letting them stuff, but you know how it is when you're a kid. You could find stuff if you really want to find stuff.
Yeah, you could find stuff.
So I think that's what it is, that like us as a society, why is it you know that we keep going to these routes instead of going a different route? But like that doesn't make money. Right? You know, like popcorn and fucking unicorns only make so much money.
Right. You cursed hard just now, but I'm digging
yeah.
But everybody likes to place a certain amount of blame on outside sources, which are to blame, but it's more of the close inside sources, right? I blame it on Marilyn and blame where was the parents at, like Eminem said. You know what I mean? And it is, where were the parents at? What's going on? And you can't blame them fully, but you are raised by, for the most part, I don't know what's the percentage, but by your parents or by your grandparents or by somebody closest to you. You know what I mean? And you shouldn't be able to be manipulated by a movie. But I know it happens because sometimes you don't have those figures to be there for you, to make you a good person, or you know what I mean? And some people are more susceptible to it. But I can't see blaming a fucking movie. Now that you cursed, I'm going to go back into it. Blaming a movie for something. You know what I mean? Yeah, it might be the straw that broke the camel's back, but maybe it would have been something else, and this is another thing. But it's a fucking movie. You know what I mean? And if you don't want your kids to see it, then have a tighter rein on them. Don't let them go see the fucking movie. I gotta stop cursing now.
Yeah. No.
Shit.
He's out of control.
I just feel so much better. I feel so much better.
I know. This is not like I'm being a character. I'm being me. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's about what's going on in your own backyard and what you're responsible for and like what you're doing. But that's easier said than done, man. Some people are working around the clock. You know, to provide for their families, or life is hard and it's only a single parent, you know, or you know, this is what it is. So these kids get neglected, so they find weird solace with these characters. They become their, you know, subjugate families or whatever. So it's again easier said than done. Yeah, you want to keep saying that, but I think it's about having a conversation about when you're with the kids or with anybody or society. Like, yo, this is just a movie, and like, what are you getting out of it? If the thoughts seem to be a little darker than what a normal person would think, then, you know, maybe have a little more conversation. Spend a little more time with that kid. Because then what's going on with them? You know? And maybe it is that when you start paying more attention, those thoughts would go away because you actually pay more attention or just finding the right stuff. So that's
you know what angers me? The people who actually...
I don't know. What angers you?
The people who actually start...
Me.
Tom? Tom's here. He's got all his clothes on today. He is working out.
If you guys actually listened to episode 4, you would have met Tom. But this is episode 5.
Yeah. So you know what? The thing that angers me is the people who do start these uproars. They're so passionate about their voice to show.
A lot of times it's just about the movement.
Right. But all these people, if you really cared, if you have that much energy and focus it on actually helping the kid
Yeah.
that might be affected by this movie.
Yeah.
Start something good, as opposed to, no, don't put this movie out there. Use your voice to do something. Physically get off your ass instead of putting something out there and putting something up on Facebook. Do something about it. Help a kid out. Help somebody out. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you... and this is... Mother Teresa used to say, right? Apparently. She said she never joined the anti-war
I am
kind
really
of things,
hungry.
right? Yeah. She never joined the anti-war like marches. She said, if there's a pro-peace march, sign me up. Because you're focusing on the
wrong thing.
war,
Right.
the anti-war, when you should be focusing on the peace.
Right.
Oh, don't put this movie out. It's just going to put bad thoughts into kids' minds. And you know what happens when you say that?
Well, you reinforced it. You doubled down on
Exactly.
it.
Exactly. Why don't you go like this? Let's start creating more loving movies. You know what I mean? And how love is the answer. Because it is the answer. You know what I mean? Like, love
Absolutely.
heals. Love does everything. If this world was filled with 100% love, we'd be floating on clouds by now. You know what I mean? So...
Idealistically, a smile for a smile instead of a bullet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where the world should
Right.
be. But
An eye for an eye.
Yeah,
Just
like
or a
it's like,
smile
alright.
for a smile.
Right,
Or a
yeah.
kiss on the butt cheeks for a kiss on the butt cheeks.
I mean, it's cheesy, but it's true, man. That's what makes the world go round. Huh? So yeah, we're talking about this and more on WMLD, the voice of the Hudson Valley. This is the Monkey Mind Show with Nick and Nero, and we're gonna take a quick break. Nero, and before we were talking a little bit about the Joker controversy, but we're gonna go back into this cool stuff that's happening today on September 30th. In 1452, Johann Gutenberg published the very first Bible, and needless to say, it went right to the top of the list.
Number one Billboard.
Yeah, because there was the only book available, and I think it was in only one language initially.
Spartish. Spartacus.
Now,
Spartian.
it was probably Latin.
Probably.
Probably Latin. And then they later translated it to Greek and others, I think.
You know, my grandfather was a big collector.
Okay.
And when he passed away, we looked through all his books, and I have a Bible in my possession. Not in my house, but my family has a Bible that's from
Yo,
this-
you're saying you have
Yeah.
a Bible? I don't we all. I think I snatched mine from the hotel.
Yeah.
Blasphemy.
Kids. from like the 1600s. This Bible's from.
Oh,
And
nice.
it's worth a lot of money. Like,
Wow.
I looked it up. But
I don't
like,
think we should tell too many people about
Yeah,
that.
I don't have it. It's
Yeah.
not in my house. It's in someone else's house.
It's in a safe deposit box
Yeah.
in an unknown location.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool, man. 1600s. Is that
Yeah.
something that's been handed down?
No, he just got his hands on a lot of stuff. He works for the city, and like, you know, when people were throwing stuff out in old abandoned buildings, the old snatch and grab. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
nobody
yeah.
was. It was nobody's. It's in
Yeah.
an abandoned building, so like it was like, oh, this building's going down.
Has anybody ever
Take whatever you want, because
Yeah.
it's otherwise it's getting trashed. You know
fell
what I mean?
off a
Stuff
truck
like that.
chuck?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, no problem. Did anybody ever actually have it like appraised or looked at?
I looked it up online. And it was like a few $1,000s.
Wow, really? Was
Yeah.
it a first print, second print? Do you know?
I think it was the first print. It was the original book. It's old, man. It's
Yeah.
cool though. It's pretty cool, you know.
Yeah, that's pretty dope, man. It's
Yeah.
it's why it's cool little family heirlooms. It's funny the things you could just find in your attic or you know,
Right.
just asking.
Not my
grandma.
attic, guys. Not my attic.
yeah, the safe deposit box.
Where's the Bible?
It's not worth that much actually.
Yeah. I only have the unabridged New Testament.
It's missing the front cover, so it's not as valuable as we thought it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, but it's pretty cool, man. You know, especially we're kind of just talking about that, free floating on the whim.
I want to bring something up to you. You know how like there's AD and BC, before Christ, and Anno Domini, right? Time.
I never get that
basically
part
time, right?
I always
So-
thought it was after dinner.
Before Christmas. Yeah, it is pretty much before Christmas. Before
yeah, after
Christ.
dinner and
Right.
before Christmas.
But like before that, somebody had to be like, oh, like there was no time before that, and it just like year one begins now.
Sort of.
And everybody
right.
before it's so weird that we based our time off of Jesus, and then we go backwards like yeah, because like going back in time, BC is insane. Like, oh yeah, just keep going back in time. 10,000 BC, 100,000 BC. It's so weird.
Yeah.
But I guess there's no like beginning point. You get.
I
This is
don't
where our beginning
think
is.
anybody knows. How about that?
Right.
I think because all the time we're realigning our timelines. You know what I mean? Dinosaurs are like chickens now. You know what I mean? So we're always realigning, and we're always saying, "Oh well, we believe that Imhotep, the pharaoh of
Imhotep.
Egypt, or whatever the hell, he lived in 14 millennia or whatever the hell. However you, like you said, you record the time, but." we started looking at more hieroglyphs, and honestly, it was closer to this time.
Right.
Now we believe, and it's like, okay, so in another friggin' million years, you might have got figured out what happened 12 million or whatever. What is it? So we're in only our 2020s, so right. So whatever before that, so nobody really knows what happens before the.
Right.
And I thought that was more based on the Roman calendar and Julian that. So I thought that's where that came from. Not really Jesus. They just throw that in there because I feel like nobody really knew when Jesus was there. Like when you watch those history things, nobody really fucking knows. So that's where I'm doubling down. Nobody knows.
Double down.
Yeah, I'm doubling down.
Split the
Nobody knows
Hit
nothing
me.
about no history. We pretend like we do, but we don't. Because we even changed at the rate the universe expands now.
Right.
So we don't know.
But carbon dating is real though. Like they could
but
figure out how old, like when you're
sort
dead
of.
for 14,000 years
But
ago.
even that is like flawed. I'm not a scientist, but even that,
Yes, you are.
I wish we had a real scientist. But yeah, even that is flawed. To its own thing. It's only as old as the carbon or something like that. There's still possibility of going further back than that. But that's the only one that I guess proves to be the most accurate.
Right.
Like the Big Bang Theory. That's the one that we go on, but it's still a theory. So carbon dating, physical results, but still ultimately inaccurate or something like that.
Do you think that I know that people say like we could just be like a hologram, like a 2-dimensional hologram and stuff like that, like and this is all make
sometimes
believe.
I think of like the one with the multi dimensions layered like a book, almost that one.
Yeah.
Where things just kind of exist on multiple planes.
Right.
I think something like that exists. That's my
Let
personal.
me stop you here. We're taking a call. This is a spam call. We're gonna put this on the air.
All right, fine.
Hello, you're on the air with Nick and Nero. You have nothing to say? Then don't fucking call me ever again. That's how I handle spam. I have a good time with telemarketers nowadays. When they call me, I give it to them so hard. If they're trying to sell me Progressive auto insurance, I try selling them Geico insurance. And they just like this. You know what? I give up and they hang up on me. And it's just so much fun because they're the most annoying people in the world.
I agree.
That and Jehovah's Witnesses, right?
I like to tell them that I like to do the cha-cha, and that's what I'm doing currently. And I'm like, I can't talk to you right now because I'm in the middle of the cha-cha. And my heartbeat is going, and they usually start laughing. And then I explain to them that I need a dance partner, and I need them to dance with me at the local supermarket in a banana costume.
Nice.
And then by the end of it, they have forgotten why they have called.
Right.
Because they're so like, I can't be in a banana costume. I'm like, you do not say.
Right.
It's like you said, you want to waste my time, I can waste your time just as easily. But they get paid and we don't. That's what.
Right.
But I have fun with it. I like messing with people.
Yeah. You got to take something that's sour and turn it something
Yeah,
sweet.
dude. Yeah, just enjoy the little moments in life. Just whatever, however you can laugh.
Like taking a really good pee, like when you gotta go really bad. That's
That
a good moment.
It's a funny thing that you say because that is the worst feeling and the best feeling. So imagine when you really have to go to the bathroom, and then you're like, oh, I gotta really go. But then when you finally get to go, you're like, oh my god, I finally get to go. So it's the worst experience and the best one too. And you can't get your keys. You're like fumbling at the door.
Right.
You're like, oh, dude.
You're peeing your pants.
Yeah. One time. It's pretty drunk. But just we don't talk about that time.
Right.
Yeah. So. Where are we going with this?
I don't know. Where are we going?
What's
we
going
should
on
take
today?
an imaginary caller.
Yeah,
Hello.
that would be cool if we had imaginary callers. So we're gonna go to you in White Plains right now on the air.
Bruce.
Bruce, how you doing? We should call Dan. Hey, what's up? Oh, nothing.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people are off today. It's a Jewish holiday. That's always good. The next 2 days, so that's people you could see that you don't usually see until Saturday or Sunday. You could see on Monday and Tuesday because of these holidays.
You could gladly pay me Tuesday for a hamburger today, Popeye. I think that's the next saying. But something else that's cool, William Wrigley Jr., the man who brought us pure chewing satisfaction, way back in 1861. Modern chewing gum was invented by the whole chiclet method, believe it or not. So it used to start, remember how chiclets used to be in that little cube form?
Yeah.
So gum actually started off like that before it became like the little sticks.
Oh.
And Wrigley did that way back in 1870, and there was only one gum, and it was apparently rubber flavored. It was terrible. Like, and then somebody finally was like, "Yeah, let's put some peppermint in there,"
Right.
and it started to take off. Imagine rubber flavor
It's
gum.
like chewing on a rubber.
Yeah, I mean,
Chewing
I
on
guess.
a condom. Can we say
guess.
condom on the air?
Um,
Anyway, why did they stray away from chiclets? Because that's the best form of gum. You could pour like 40 in your hand and just shove them in your mouth, and it's so much
Yeah,
better than sticks of gum.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because they, maybe too sugary. I guess when people became more conscious
Right.
about their teeth, and with gum too, they were saying it's actually beneficial. A recent study shows a simple stick of gum can often fight heartburn just as well as, regular over-the-counter medicines.
Okay.
Researchers in England, King's College, found that chewing gum half hour after a meal can relieve symptoms of your GERD.
Yeah.
Gastroesophagus reflux disease, commonly known as indigestion. Chewing gum stimulates saliva, which neutralizes acid in the esophagus, according to a small study by Andrew Scully of the University of Northumbria in England. People who chewed gum throughout the test for both long and short term memory scored better on both tests than people who did not chew gum. One theory suggests that the act of chewing ups the heart rate, which in turn improves oxygen delivery to the brain. Research also suggests chewing gum may not only help a woman conceive, but make her pregnancy safer, which is wild, dude. You can get your girl if you give her some gum, so make sure your girl don't chew gum.
Chew on this.
Yeah, fellas, if you're trying to make sure she don't get pregnant. Also, birth control. The study found that the act of chewing makes the egg's woman more receptive to sperm and helps balance her hormones. So maybe you do want her to chew the gum. Chewing gum can help you lose weight, according to a study published in the New England Journal of Medicine. Researchers at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Michigan, have discovered that chewing gum raises your metabolic rate by about 20%. An all-day sugar-free gum chewer burns off the equivalent of 11 pounds extra weight per year. So,
What?
Yeah, man. So if you want to burn a quick 10 pounds over the course of a year, chew some gum with your normal
That's
routine.
crazy. But you know what though? I've realized if I'm stressed out.
So gum.
It makes me feel better, honestly. But
Yeah.
I gotta chew like 30 pieces of gum. And then I
Yeah. That's the good for the zebra stripe because you need 30 pieces of that.
Yeah, that
remember it was only
shit
like
sucks.
it was only like
3
10
seconds later,
of
yeah.
shit. You're like, but the first 2 seconds are awesome because
Yeah.
they're like, it's fruit. What is it? Fruit punch,
Yeah.
cherry. You're like, oh, and then like you said, or the other one, the stupid baseball one. The big league
Big
chew,
League.
yeah, dude. Oh, the big league chew was awesome. I used to always bug my dad to get that, and that's also something that's kind of weird. Is it's supposed to be tobacco, but as a kid you're like, oh well, the gum.
Yeah.
But yeah, so whatever. You mimic your behavior.
Right.
Like you wanted to see the big league players, but yeah, the big league chew is definitely my favorite. I like the double bubble too, or the tape.
Yeah.
6
Dave
feet
was
of
fun.
bubble gum. That
Did he-
fucking guy, dude.
Dude, I always wanted to just open it and fucking take a bite out of it.
I was never smart enough to figure out how to open it. Yeah, no, I would just fucking stretch it and then I would wrap it around people. So it was gum, and it also would like gum up the action figures. So my mom hated it. Like, oh, but they were wrapped up. They, the fucking the turtles. They got captured.
Dude, I drank coffee again today, which you already know, but I feel like it's affecting my body. I feel like I'm on some sort of fucking high right now. It's killing. It's crushing.
Yeah,
I'm
Ric
about to
Flair,
have
baby.
I'm gonna have a panic attack. I'm gonna have every kind of attack right now. That's what coffee does to me.
Yeah, that's why you shouldn't have too much caffeine in the morning. Stimulants.
But it feels good though. I feel high right now
Yeah.
with coffee. I wonder if
As long as
people
it's not
feel
the
like this.
ether, because I need active co-host and not the other one. So that's cool. I can't believe it's already the end of September. It's we're in our last day, gearing up. It's cool for me though. His birthday's next week, Saturday. Nothing special though. It's just 34.
What are you, a Libra?
I'm a Libra. Yeah.
What are some aspects, characteristics?
We love balance and justice and things of that nature.
Ballet and justice.
Yes, it's ballet and justice. In a world where things have gone wrong, one man, an undercover detective, and a ballerina have to solve crimes to figure out life's woes. Don't take my ideas. People watch it.
On the Librarian.
Starting Saturday, October 5th, Brian Nero Negra.
Is the Librarian.
Well, actually, I'm the ballerina.
Yeah.
It's the reverse role. The chick is the cop.
No,
So
you-
nobody saw that coming.
You're an undercover cop dressed in a tutu, walking around a library.
Yeah, yeah.
You gonna buy that book? Get the hell out.
And then you hear the Nutcracker randomly in the background. I told you quiet. Practicing my ballet.
That librarian ballet person's crazy, but I kind of want to bang him. Her. I am her.
We're androgynous that no one knows what exactly he is or her is. The ballerina in the library. That's how he solves the crimes. He dances around the chalk lines. And he's, he
feels the energies.
Right, he feels the vibes,
This guy died on his own accord by drinking too much coffee.
Yeah, he was so hyped up. I knew it.
Case solved.
Nick, he was recording the studio, and then he had one cup too many.
Next
this is what happens when I drink too much coffee. I come up with fucking spin-offs.
Right. Too much caffeine or foul play.
Yeah,
Next
definitely.
Librarian. So balance, justice. What else? What other characteristics?
Dude, I was just listening to this crap this morning because I like it loosely. Like, you know what I mean? It's something I believe in, but I don't feel like you should let rule your life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel like Scorpio. Like I'd say about like 80% of them are real, and then 20% of them don't fit me.
When I say like justice and stuff, we hate when somebody's being picked on, or like the sides aren't even for everybody. Like
that goes back to our last week's topic where the Uber driver was being an asshole to the guy with the Parkinson's or whatever, and we said, give us a call and we'll beat the shit out of him.
That's totally like it's part of being it's totally part of being like a Libra. It's like justice, all that. Like we have an artsy side to us too. Great at communicating, usually something like that. Could be leaders, prefer not to. Love smaller crowds versus big ones. But very charming, supposedly.
Brian, you're so charming.
I know, I hear it all the time.
And very handsome for all the listeners out there.
But it's funny though, cause like, it's like yesterday I did actually listen to my horoscope for one of the first times, and it was about being more creative. Like you're gonna feel more creative today, and I did some of our ads for this. We're getting hyped for our WMLD stream, first time ever tonight. So we're just doing that kind of stuff, and cause supposedly the moons are in Libra right now.
Oh, really?
So so my powers are amplified.
Nice.
I'm super right now. You know what I mean? But I was kind of feeling that vibe, and it's really crazy. And you got a little, I guess, because we're on the thing. The numerology thing is really weird. I'm kind of just really in tune to what I want to be doing right now.
Yeah.
And so like, since we're talking about that, like they say in numerology, you start seeing number sequences all the time.
Yeah.
And so yesterday was like 555, and then I got some stupid fucking email, right, from this astrology thing, like I said, because I like it for fun or whatever. And I see a lot of fives, whatever. I don't know what the hell the fives mean. Get this email. It's like, come to this webinar. We're talking about why you see numbers and why they happen to mean. And it started at 8. It's 8:45. I'm super late to the thing, and I'm like, fuck.
You went?
No, it's a webinar.
Oh,
when some super late to the broadcast or whatever. It's probably some pre-recorded jumbo that they send to everybody. But so what I'm even saying is just like, because I do believe that there's vibes and there's stuff. There's something to this. Yeah, right. Because it's been around we're talking about maybe as long as BC. Yeah, and but we're talking as long as that, and so there has to be something to it. So anyway, so what I'm getting at is I click on the video, it's like 45 minutes in, and I'm like, I missed it, and she's like, another lady, whatever her name is, was asking about the 555 sequence, and I was like, yo,
what?
You know what I mean? Like, because I'm doing our prep for the show,
yeah, and
I'm doing stuff like that, so just something to listen to in the background, and I'm like, okay, so I thought I missed the whole broadcast, and now the lady is talking about the exact sequence I've been seeing like all day, 55555, and it's about like new beginnings and putting yourself in uncomfortable positions and
like jumping out of an airplane.
right, yeah, definitely jumping out of a plane,
going to a Latin club,
doing all kinds of just things out of the abnormal. But like even doing this, so it's like just go for it because whatever, just go for it. So that's basically like you're seeing the 555s when you're doing the right things, you become in synchronicities and things like that. So then even on the way here, I see a bunch of ones, and so like I said, I don't know what there is, but there's a lot. There's something to it, and I'm not the right one to tell you, but
well, our whole universe is based on binary code, they say, right?
Right.
Numbers and stuff like that. So if that's the way people have to get in touch with us, right? If that's the universal language, then somebody's showing you like, keep it going, man.
Yeah, man.
Keep it going.
So on the way down, the film, the film, because we are gonna go on video next, but no.
Porno.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
God.
not
I'm getting kicked
on the
off
way on the way down. Here, yeah, like I said, some dude like broke hard, and it was 111 all over his thing, and I so happened to look over at the same time, and on the dashboard it's 1111, and it's like, yeah, what is it? And then if you listen to the stuff and you're into it, then there's this like a phenomenon, and it is the universe talking to you somehow. But that's what
you showed
believe.
me the other day.
Yeah.
44,444 miles on your car, right?
Mm-hmm. And I just so happened to look down.
Right. And I told you that September, some girl put up on like Instagram like 369 is a big number for this month. And last month I got my car inspected or whatever, and they put the mileage on it, and it was 69,666 miles, and I was like, oh, all these sixes. But
that's actually a good thing. These
Yeah.
sixes are really good.
Right. But then my odometer read 69. I don't know. It was 69. Oh no, it was 6696, whatever it was. But I showed you the 69396. It was all the sixes and 39s, and I keep seeing those numbers lately. You know what I mean?
So that's my thing, right? So that's my thing. Like I said, we talk about loosely. We see it now. Is it because we have brought it to our everyday mind, or is it that we're becoming aware to it? Like, did we put it in our subconscious to now all of a sudden see these patterns? Because for me, the reason I started looking into it was because I literally kept looking down at the same time every day.
Yeah.
I used to drive a truck for a HVAC place. That's neither here nor there. But I used to drive a truck, and every day I used to look down at 1234. And if it wasn't 1234, it was 1243. So it was always 1, 2, 3, 4. And it
1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock.
Right. So it would always bug me out. And I'm like, why do I always look down at 1234? Is it because I'm hungry? Is this lunchtime?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But a lot of times when I drove in the truck, I would just bring lunch or whatever. I'd have something ride in the seat with me. I get hungry because I don't like to stop. I want to get my job done or whatever. But every day consistently. So I stopped thinking about it though for a little bit. We come up, and then it would start with you go to the gas pump. You see these number sequences, and then I'm like, what the hell is this, dude? Yeah. And I wasn't looking for it at the time. So then I started looking for it. I started trying to look into it more and more, and then the more I look into it, the more things make sense. But then you kind of ignore it again, right? So then I feel like when you ignore it and you're not so much in tune, or you're putting yourself in a spot where you maybe doesn't want you to be, you don't talk to you as much. So then when you are all of a sudden being more free or whatever, it starts to talk to you all over again. And it's like, so I feel for me, we are on the right path, and we're doing, like, for me, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And like, I've been expressing my creativity and my outlets a lot lately. Unfortunately, it hasn't been paying the bills, but I've been doing that a lot more, and I feel like the more that I embrace that side of me, the more I see these freaking crazy numbers. And for a while, I wasn't seeing them. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's some weird subconscious thing or what, or it is really the universe talking to me. I don't know what that is. I couldn't tell you. So
it's kind of unfortunate.
I want to tell you it's been going on for a while.
Right. It's kind of unfortunate that we always have to say, like, that's really cool, man, but does it pay the bills? You know what I mean? Because like, why does why does that have to be what your life is about? Like, being able to pay the bills, when like, if you're saying you're on your right path right now, and that's art and creativeness, like creativity, like, I mean, back in the, like, a lot of the famous poets and stuff like that, they were never even big until they died, basically, but they lived that life.
Well,
they saw the path and they went for it. You know what I mean? Right. And I know we need money to fucking survive nowadays, but like,
so I'm doing it on untraditional means, and right now, I'm kind of doing the Uber thing, and I'm trying to make my money like other ways, and
prostitution.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Cash
oldest profession in the
world. Cash is king. Love that. Then I could take it into other places I like to frequent. Get that
strip clubs.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's a whole sex trade here.
Right.
I'm not monkey mind, but but you know what I mean. Like, so right now, doing it not the 9 to 5 way, and kind of just doing it my way, and living a little loosely, and kind of just focusing on the stuff I want to do for a change, instead of focusing on somebody else's 9 to 5 and making somebody else prosper. And that's why I feel like it's an upward battle, but if it doesn't work this time doing this, I'm never gonna be content.
Well, it's gonna work.
Yeah,
I
know.
If it doesn't, it's gonna work.
That's pretty much the mindset. I said this morning, I was like, yo, if this natural thing doesn't work out, it's gonna work out. Like, this is it. I'm gonna do it.
This is culminated to
right. This is where it starts.
But if it doesn't work out the way that you planned it, don't get frustrated because
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
you set the intention out there,
Right.
and then just flow with it. You
Well-
know what I mean? Something good will come.
Yeah, man. This
Manifestation.
is sounds so trivial, but like doing this now, even my Instagram page, I've like changed, pivoted the focus on what I wanted to focus on. Like I used to do a lot of nature stuff, and like I still dig all that, and I like hiking, but it's just that's not what it's aimed at. It's aimed more for this now, like where we're doing the podcast, doing the show now. Hopefully, the show is gonna be put in, every Monday. Hopefully, we got a huge following from this.
A billion people.
Yes.
6.3
Hopefully
billion.
they take us off Monday nights and they put us on Monday mornings, and but whatever. We'll get there eventually, but the whole point of it is that focusing on stuff, and if you guys any of you guys listen to our last week's episode, this is kind of what we talked about, like adversity and things, kind of try to put a immediate roadblock, and it's just keeping your head down, staying the course, and that's what I'm doing. And then some days, because now maybe Libra is in my star range, I'm
Right.
feeling more focused, but I'm feeling, even though there's a lot going on, I'm super calm about it. And the more that I stay with the flow,
Right.
the better that life works out for me, dude. I just feel less stressed.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things about the Uber things, I get to meet all kinds of cool people doing all kinds of cool stuff.
Mhm.
And got a few compliments. Tell them about doing the promoting. I really like the promoting thing, even though again kind of just plugging it. But they're you got a good sound. You sound like you could be good for radio. And I was like, thank you.
This is
man.
nearly the natural.
Yeah, I love that guy because that's like Casey Kasem. But
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I have a regular kind of sound or whatever too. So it's working out. I think we're working really well together.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to get out of it.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
So October is gonna be big for us. We got
hell
the-
yeah.
Got
We're,
anything you're working on?
I mean, I'm working on my tunes. Hopefully, get my acoustic album, which I've been working on for the past 5 years. It's a
Okay.
long time. I mean,
We
I wrote all
are
the song-
at 8
Yeah.
tracks, and
No,
we're
well-
looking for more.
I pretty much wrote all the music. Me and my buddy, we wrote the music in like a month, like 5 years ago, right? But we kept trying to think. We found new ways to record it and make it sound better, and like
Overthinking it.
overthinking it, but making it. But it does sound way better than it originally did. All like 100% better. Now we're doing it. We finished
That's
mixing
cool.
everything down.
You
Like
ever
I have
see-
to download it. We have to listen to it, see if there's any final edits, and then master it, and then it's all done.
Sure.
You know?
You ever see the the Lucas fucking Star Wars where he remastered and then he put things in there for no reason?
Yeah. Like-
You sure you're not doing that?
No. It's just the quality. It's the sound quality. You
Okay,
know what I mean?
that's
None of the
awesome.
songs changed much. Like I added maybe a guitar solo here and there, but like it's just the quality. Better equipment. My friend
Okay.
Anthony found better ways to like
Right.
make the voice sound better, make the instrument sound better. Like so,
Yeah,
the
man.
quality got better.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely. No, I definitely know what you mean. Like, kind of been trying to learn how to do different kinds of flyers and promote and
Right.
stuff like that. And I feel like each one has gotten better. The more time I spend doing it, so I totally get it. Like,
Yeah.
kind of just taking a project that you're really passionate about and then just
Right.
revamping it for
Yeah.
what you're doing right now. It was cool. Did you put words to anything?
Yeah,
Like,
10
so-
songs,
10
all words,
all
baby.
words. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, do it. Put it on SoundCloud, man.
Yeah,
Stop
I
talking
will.
about it.
Maybe
Be
we'll-
about it.
maybe you
Put
guys
it
will
on
listen to it on
Spotify.
WMLD one day. Who knows?
Ugh.
But guess what?
Yeah, well.
We're about 47 minutes, and here's something you are gonna listen to. Maybe we'll shut this off with a freestyle from the Brian Nero neck round right here, baby.
I don't know what we are going to do, but Nick, this is something that keeps encouraging me to do. Play the music, sir. Hey, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed your time. It's Nick and Nero, and this the Monkey Mind. We talked a lot of crazy topics today, and this is how it goes. It's September 30th. We hope you enjoyed our show. It's time to go. It's time to go. See you next week. It's time to go. I think we fading out. Time to go. All right, see y'all next week on the WMLD's The Monkey Mind Show, the voice of the Hudson Valley. Yeah.
We out.
Yeah, I like that.